right? Well, sound, me, voice, good? Ah, yes? Okay. Good, that's important. My voice. I mean, what would this sound be without my voice? Or this show be without my voice? It would be voiceless. Great. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming to this week's episode of Scotch and Smoke Rings, episode 112. The 112th episode of this fine program. As always, I'm your neighborhood friendly Oxhorn here with my suspender set to maximum stun. Great show for you today. Rolling up my sleeves. Got a lot to cover. But first I should probably get some chats up here. So, basically just got here in time to do the show. Had to pick up a cigar on my way from work. And, I got distracted because I got in the car. I drove to the cigar shop. I parked. And I bought my cigars. But then on my way out I noticed a chocolate store had just opened up right next to the cigar shop. And I had to get my wife some chocolate, right? I totally didn't go just to get me some chocolate. No. No, and I totally didn't go just to get myself some nice coffee. No. No, it was for my beautiful wife, not me, my wife. It just so happened that I did get myself chocolate while I was there. Beautiful wife, not me, my wife. But it wasn't, that wasn't the reason I stopped. Anyway, so getting the chocolate actually put me a little bit late, and I had to race here and get everything up and get the show ready and tweet out. I haven't tweeted out. Crap. Here we go. Hold on. Wait, I didn't say that. I said Bloit. Bloit. Streaming live, yada yada yada. Scotch and Smoke Rings. Come join the classy fun. Excellent. So I had it up and ready, I just hadn't tweeted it out yet. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I am here. The show is going on very well. My suspenders are intact, my beard is intact. I've got a browser full of things to share with you, and most importantly, I have a cigar. Can't have Scotch and Smoke Rings without a cigar. F and Mac says, Oxhorn, why can't I watch it via the Scotch and Smoke Rings website? Okay, so this means that there is some sort of problem. Alright, so I saw on the Scotch and Smoke Rings Facebook page that there were some people who were having a hard time with seeing the show on scotchandsmokerings.com. And I don't know why specifically, but I do have a hunch. And my hunch is that I installed some sort of script that makes the entire show screen disappear if you try and watch from a tablet device. Because this show can't work, it doesn't work from a tablet device or from a mobile device. And so I had this very handy message that says, we're sorry, but this show does not work on a mobile device. Please watch from a desktop. However, the plugin works based on browser width, and I didn't think about that beforehand, but there are some people who have very small monitors and very small desktop resolutions. So it's quite possible that you are unable to watch the show because you're trying to watch from a computer that has a very small desktop resolution. But I just changed that while I was bloviating with that very long-winded explanation of what I think is going on. I removed that script, and it should now be working correctly. So if you would prefer to watch from scotchandsmokerings.com, as many a good and gentlemanly gentleman often do, then feel free to try. Ah! FNMax says, I have a very big screen. Well, it's due to your desktop resolution. So I have it set so that if your desktop resolution is smaller than 1024 pixels, then you get that message. However, I just removed that script, so now you shouldn't get that message at all. So feel free to watch from scotchandsmokerings.com. It should be working now. If you're on Twitch TV, feel free to do it from Twitch TV. Whatever works best for you. Whatever floats your boat. Whatever makes the gravy rise to the top. Whatever gives you a flaky croissant. Alright, I'm done. Time to turn. Hey, good. I'm glad it works. F and Max says it works now. Excellent. So that was the problem. I've got cigars. I have Scotch. And I have an entire program That's right. I have things to go through today that, for the first time in a very long time, I've actually come prepared for the show. Well, what do you know? By the way, before we get too into the show, there's a poll going up on the Scotch and Smoke Rings Facebook group about the rap later tonight. As is typical at scotchandsmokerings.com, I tend to do an episode of the program called Reading Rap Lyrics While Wearing a Confused Expression. During this segment, I read rap lyrics while wearing a confused expression, and I tend to choose raps based upon your suggestions. However, I want to install some new rules. You cannot, I will not do raps that are already spoofs of other raps, because my segment is, of course, a spoof of raps. And if I'm spoofing a spoof of raps, it's not quite as funny. So it can't be a Weird Al song, even though I love Weird Al. And it can't be intended to be humorous. It needs to be really serious. Because this segment works best if I'm reading something that was designed to be very serious. So Autumn says, at least you didn't cut yourself this time. Did I cut myself last time? That's right, I did. I took a chunk out of my finger. Thankfully, it was just not an important chunk of finger. But I managed to come out unscathed this time. Although the draw is very... Ah! Shawarma reminds me, and he says, Ox, stash wax! I forgot to wax my stash. No smoke rings for me. Well, wait, what's this? This says facial cleanser. Nah. Beard facial cleanser. I've got things to show you, but none of these are waxes. Oh, alas, I will not be able to blow smoke. Well, okay, I can blow smoke rings, but I have to hold the stash back. Goldbreath says you are not prepared. You know what? Don't give me that. Don't give me that right now. We're doing the segment. I'm trying to get everything ready so that I can blow my smoke rings, but I don't have any matches. Here though. So calm down, everybody. Wax it with chocolate, says Shawarma. I could do that. Alright, with chocolate. So whatever. Time for some Glenfiddich. It's going to get hot in here fast unless I turn those fans back on, but we got to have some Glenfiddich. Today we are drinking some 12-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey known as Glenfiddich. It is Scotch whiskey because it was made in Scotland and is therefore delicious. Looking at the Twitch TV chat, lots of hellos. Dookie Pie is here, says hello. Hello, Dookie Pie. William Moore says, not in sorry. I think you are in because I just read your text, your message there. So. But we're streaming live. Anyway, we've got some 12-year-old single malt Scotch, which is fantastic. I love Glenfiddich. It's one of my favorite Scotches. This was purchased by a donation from a very generous fan. Nonstop Disco is in as well. Hello, Nonstop Disco. And there are other comments that I don't understand. All right, smoke ring before we go on. This is Scotch and Smoke Rings, and I do not want to leave you deprived, even though my stash is covering. Dr. Cuddly says, I think I just lost the internet. Where am I? All right, welcome to 1932. We are having a great time. We serve mail using pneumatic tubes, and we ride horses places. And wear patent leather. So I'm glad you're here today. We're going to have a great time. Okay, I got a few. Let's try again. Alright, I got some good ones, but it's starting to get hot in here, so the fans must turn back on. Turn on the fans! Turn on the fans. Alright. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Bottles up. Let's try some 12-year-old Scotch whiskey. That was courtesy of David Cross, who donated to this show. For those who are new, you can donate to this fine program. You can add to my cigar stash and my stash by donating to your neighborhood friendly Oxhorn. If you're on Twitch TV, there's a little donate button at the very bottom of the screen where you can donate via PayPal. If you're on scotchandsmokerings.com, there is a little donate button at the very bottom of the screen where you can donate via PayPal. They both send money directly to me. They put cigars in my humidor and scotch in my glass and allow me to continue to do this show. So I encourage you, if you're feeling inclined, please donate to Scotch and Smokerings. Oh. I don't understand that. So Hikatsuna says, stand alive, and then I am definitely showing my upbringing musically. I get it, but I don't understand the context. Baldock says if it's 1980, if it's in 1932, the show would be in black and white. Thank you for that astute observation. You got me. It's not really 1932. Ah, hate to break it to you. CM Bayer says the year is 1914. The Cold War is stinging my gentle lips. Haven't showered in days because the boss is working me to the bone at the old sawmill. Kids are hungry. Life is rough. And so it goes. I like that. We should have that as a new segment of the show. Stories from 1914. Right. Some of you crack me up. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for showing up today. The show must go on, and we have some segments to get to. Now, for those who don't know, I accept fan art. And you guys make fan art. Why? Because you're awesome fans. You go to my Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Scotch and Smoke Rings, I think. Anyway, it's the Scotch and Smoke Rings group on Facebook, and you submit fan art, and I have a lot of fan art to go through today. So I hope you're ready. Time to show off the creative excretions from your fellow fans. And Shawarma is quoting Monty Python for some reason. Okay, that's alright. We're not going to judge. In addition to the creative excretions of fans, I am going to be including some updates from Oxhorn. So I make regular website updates to all of my major websites, including scotchandsmokerings.com, growabeernow.com, oxhorn.com, and bloggingwithclass.com. And it would be a shame for any of you to miss them. So in addition to showing off fan art, I'm going to be showing off my own creative endeavors. Alright, so see if I can adjust this. Alright, this is fan art submitted by Ghoul Breath, and it says, just playing a classic game of poker with the gang. And here we have J.R. Firepaw, Vol'jin, Bane Bloodhoof, and of course, me, your neighborhood friendly Oxhorn, Sylvanas Windrunner, Lorthamar Theorin, and Trade Prince Gallywix and Thrall. So all of the major bosses from World of Warcraft, and then of course, your neighborhood friendly Oxhorn. He says, this was a hard one to make, but I'm proud of it. Are you real Hordies out there? Should know these leaders. Indeed, all of you real Hordies should. So thank you for that one, Ghoulbreath. Next up is a subscription to Retro Gamer Magazine. That's right, I just made a discover of Retro Gamer Magazine, and I put a link to it up on oxhorn.com. Here I'm going to show you some of the covers to it. It's got some great reviews, and these are some of the covers to it. I was just thinking about this the other day, that my beautiful baby boy is going to grow up without ever having had access to the same classic video games that I did. I was raised on Mario and classic NES and Sonic the Hedgehog and Metroid and all of that goodness. My boy is not. He's going to be growing up in the age of Biber and Gaga. That is just a tragedy. So I think that it is every classy geek's duty to educate him or herself on retro games so that one can raise one's child in the way of one's parents. And Retro Gamer Magazine is a great tool to do that. You can find that at oxhorn.com. Oxhorn.com. Next up, this, submitted by Brian. And it says, Turkey. Turkey for everyone. And I believe, is that a cigar sticking out of a turkey? Yeah, there's smoke coming out of it. And look, there's rings. So this dead turkey is smoking a cigar and shooting smoke rings. This is from Baldox. After being convicted for foul misdeeds, no pun intended, the condemned prepared for the end by having a classy moment. P.S. Is this how one smokes a turkey? Right. Well, gosh, I gotta say that's very creative. So thank you for that one, Baldox. Then we have this one submitted by Autumn, and of course she had to do this. It's a mock-up of a shirt design, Yobo instead of YOLO. At scotchandsmokerings.com, we're all about Yobo. You only beard once. I got a kick out of it, I have to tell you. She did an excellent job, so thank you for that one, Autumn. Then we have this submitted by Rainey, and he was just sharing with us what he was smoking and drinking. I think this was during last week's show, but I'm showing it off now. From Rennie, he says Scotch and Smoke Rings Night, and he's got a 750 milliliters of Ballantine's Finest, which is one of the best blended Scotch whiskies I've ever had, I have to admit. My two favorite blended Scotches are Ballantine's and Scoresby, so excellent job there, my friend. And then, of course, he's got this nice little cigar with 3 matches. It should only take you 1 match to go through a cigar, but I'm glad he has backups. So, Renee, I hope you are here today. You are a classy gent. Thank you so much for your fan art. And then we have this submitted by Eric, and so here we go. This is once that slipper drops, says the caption, I'll pick it up while that overstuffed expletive is chasing after her. I can outrun that coach and take her away myself, sparing the... Okay, embarrassment of putting shoe on every woman in the kingdom. Right, so this is a fan art of his character having some sort of literary criticism with the myth makers of Cinderella, as interpreted by Disney in this particular movie. Apparently, it's an embarrassment. So thank you for that one, Doomageddon. This one's another, also from Eric, and the caption reads, I love this new battleground. All right, it's time to give the hippiest place on earth a classy makeover. Loktaro Gar for the Horde. And this is, of course, Stormwind as the next... Wait, no, wait, that's not Stormwind. That's the Disney castle. All right. Introducing the new battleground Once Upon a Time. Daily achievements. Place horde banners at various points of the castle. Wow, that's a lot of achievements. I'm not going to read them all. But thank you for that one, Doomageddon. You can see all of his new achievements for raiding Disneyland or Disney World at the Facebook group for Scotch and Smoke Rings. Excellent creativity. And then here's... Alright, there's that one again. Ghoulbreath is saying that I'm everywhere tonight, and I don't understand that because I'm only in one spot. I'm right here. Alright, moving on, we have this one by Brittany, and this is a picture of her character and Hat the Singing Turtle. She named Speedy Hat in honor of Scotch and Smoke Rings. So I really like that. That's a nice one. Thank you for that one, Brittany. And then we have this submitted by Sam, and I love this. This is just so classic. Yeah, I hope you can read them all. I'm going to read them for you. Beard facts. Stroking of beard increases concentration and cognitive ability. All right. So, ladies, if your husband sports a gentlemanly beard, it is your obligation to stroke it for his mind's sake. It filters the air of toxins, pollution, and stray food. Science has shown that beards rarely sleep. True, true. Beards are almost completely immune to sarcasm. Quadruples handsomeness, also true. Lets you instinctually know where the nearest mountain is, over yonder. Fits on your face, dramatically increases your wood chopping capacities, or capabilities. Acts as a homing beacon, attracting the jealousy and admiration of the beardless. And finally, it's a natural bear repellent when camping or wandering in the woods. All of these are true, I have found from personal experience. So thank you for that one, Sam. Oh, and then this one, it says, I forget who this was submitted by, but it says, the beard is here, yes, yes equals yes. Well, the beard is there, and I suppose that's something to say yes about. This one was submitted by Recipes and Much More, and it's a pecan pie. in the shape of an oval. Oh, it's a pecan pie cooked in a crock pot. Oh, I see. Oh, that's clever. What a good idea. I would love to have one of those for the holidays. Then there's this one, submitted by Funniest E-Cards. And it says, shout out to all the beautiful women who don't need to dress half naked to get a man's attention. Stay classy. Indeed. That is excellent, right? Round of applause for this one, ladies and gentlemen. I have to say that's one of the best I've seen. And then we have this one submitted last of all by Lenny, and it is a series of drinking glasses with mustaches on them. You can class nearly anything up by putting a mustache on it. Introducing the safety razor. Now, one might think that a safety razor is something you wouldn't see on a beard website. However, I own one. In fact, I've got a picture of it right there. This is my safety razor and my shaving set. I, of course, don't shave. However, every now and then, you need to touch up your cheek lines. And there are some poor souls out there who cannot live with a neck beard, and so they take one of these bad boys to their neck. I, of course, have a resplendent neck beard and don't need to do this. But if you want a safety razor, this is the kind that your grandfather would have had. It's heavy, it's made out of stainless steel, and I have everything you need to get started on growabeardnow.com if you're interested in that. Here, hold on a second. I should probably share the link. There you go. Everything to get started with your safety razor and shaving set in case you need to just touch up your beard a little bit. And the same is true for this beard trimmer. Look at this magnificent machine. Again, you don't want to go hog wild. This is for trimming up the bits and pieces that kind of just go astray every now and then. But I love this thing. Look, it's not battery powered. It's something you'd find in a classic barber shop. It plugs into the wall. It has a nice retro looking switch right there. I love the chrome. I love the red on it. This is a nice heavy duty piece of machinery for trimming up your beard. Another good one at growabeardnow.com. And mustache scissors for trimming your mustache. As you know, I don't trim my mustache, which is why I have trouble with smoke rings. But look at this one. I just really enjoyed. Yeah, that's right. That's it's like a mustache-shaped case for your mustache scissors and comb. I thought that was pretty cool, so I decided to share that with you. Two more for the geeks in the house, which should be all of us. Thank you for coming up. These are Portal 2 bookcases. One is the orange portal and one is the blue portal. This is a way to show everybody that you're both well-read and geeky, which is something people need to know. So that is at Oxhorn.com. And then finally, this Arthas figurine. I've already checked the sales for this, and the fans have already bought this once. This is becoming increasingly rare. And as I expound on this particular page, Arthas is my favorite villain, as he probably is for many of us. I make it no secret that Wrath of the Lich King is and will always be my favorite World of Warcraft expansion, just because they've got awesome villains like Arthas. And I fell in love with the whole Arthas arc mythos, primarily because of Warcraft 3. I was introduced to World of Warcraft because of my love for Warcraft 3, so I thought I would share that with you. The fans loved it. It's already sold once. So those are this week's fan art and this week's updates. I hope you enjoy the direction this new segment is going. And I have just realized that I have not had a swig of my scotch in a while, nor taken a gentlemanly toke in a while. Although I do feel sort of strange saying the word toke. So. Aw, it's out! Well, we can remedy that. By the way, have you ever seen those guys walking around, you know, and they've got those big fros, and then they stick a comb in it, and they just leave it there? This is the new thing. I'm turning this into the new it style, right? If you grow a gentlemanly, and you want to show the world that you just don't care, one way or the other, you are proud of your beard. You're going to flip the bird to the world. There you go. That's the new thing. Yeah, you know, if I was a famous musician, like the Bieber kid, or Bieber, or however you say his name, I would do this on stage and instantly all of the 30-year-old men in the world with giant beards would be copying me. I had to block the fans. I've got 2 fans blowing on me. I'm really not going to be doing this all night, so taking it off now. All right, one more thing to show you before we go on. I had this submitted by a very fine friend. I can't talk with it from my mouth. So my growabeardnow.com website is becoming increasingly popular, and I'm starting to get people trying to peddle their goods through my website. And I'm happy to do so if they give me free samples, which they did. I've got free samples. This fine fellow over at Beard Brand, he gave me a pin with a mustache on beard on it, because everyone wears pins these days. So thank you for that one. He has 3 different kinds of beard oil, which I'm going to enjoy going through. They've got the spiced citrus beard oil, the tea tree beard oil, and the Tree Ranger beard oil. I'm going to open one and sniff it and maybe apply it to my beard during this show. So what one would you like me to open? Let's take a vote. Which one would you want? There was spiced citrus, Tree Ranger, or tea tree. Really, he even gave me a sticker. It's a sticker of his beard icon. Only it's white on white, so it's hard to read. And there's his card. So thank you for that one, good sir. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're like. Spicy, spiced citrus. Spiced citrus. Looks like it's unanimous, actually. Everyone wants to see the spiced citrus. Where's Kevin? Says Steph Sarch. Oh, here he is. Sorry. Hi, Kevin. Would you like to try some beard oil, Kevin? He has a distinct lack of beard, don't you think? Let's give him some beard oil, too. Woo! Dookie Pie says snake oil. Probably. It's kind of got a pungent sting to it. All right, let's try some. Is my beard spicy now? All right. Come on, Kevin. It's time to grow a beard. Alright, we'll let that sit and simmer for the next 30 minutes, and we'll come back and see if a beard has grown on Kevin. Well, thank you for that one, Beard Brand. Very, very nice. Ninja of WoW says, wait, Oxhorn wrote a mighty tome? A lengthy tome? Fantastic indeed, good sir. I did. This is my novel, The Tale of Cloran Hastings. For those of you who don't know, I did handwrite this book with nothing but 3,000-year-old parchment and my own blood. And I finally got it published. It's on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com, but most importantly at CloranHastings.com. The Tale of Cloran Hastings, available for a low price. It is a swashbuckling young adult nautical adventure filled with floating castles and magical women and swords and sorcery and adventure. So go down to your local shop and tell them to get this, because you can only find it online at CloranHastings.com. So go ahead and get my novel. Mindcrafting Maker says, how much is it? It is $9.99 as an ebook, $19.99 in paperback, and $29.99 in hardcover. CloranHastings.com. All right, I'll type it in for you. CloranHastings.com. CloranHastings.com. Autumn says, ooh, nice deal. Ninja of WoW says, can you get that book in Barnes & Noble? You can get the ebook at Barnes & Noble. You can get the paperback only on Amazon, I believe. And the hardcover is only on Lulu.com. However, all of the links are on my website, cloronhastings.com. Oh, Autumn says, lol, I didn't say that, but okay. It was Holy Cow Kill 3 who said that, and his comment was directly beneath Autumn's, and her name is Pink, so therefore I saw hers first. Anyway. Oh, Autumn says you can order the hardcover from Barnes & Noble. Excellent, excellent, cool. I didn't realize that. Minecraft Kingmaker says, I'm going to get it soon. Awesome. You are a good gentleman. Cheers to you. Ooh, that's nice. William Moore says, sorry, I have to get ready for this. The year it was 1919. The German army was pressing hard on our trench with their auto rifles last night, but having stopped for a moment, it's a hard winter morning, and my beard is frosted over. But I take comfort in my Scotch and my cigar. Tefunksta says, the year is 1925. As I prepare my meats at the butcher, the mafia comes in demanding their weekly protection money. I look down at my shoes in response as they grab me by the collar and demand to see my boss. I love the writers that we have on the Twitch TV chat today. They're going all in. They're going all the way back to like fascist Germany in the 1930s. Everyone brown back. Right, everybody's changing. This is what I get. Okay, I mentioned that Autumn's name was Pink and therefore it was hard to miss. And now everybody's changing their name color to pink on the scotchandsmokerings.com chat. Great. Now it's just like I feel like I'm in some sort of Susan Komen for the Cure chatathon or something. Everything's pink now. As long as I don't start seeing ribbons. What a tragedy. Greg McLovin Harton, I'm not going to repeat your comment because I don't know if it's supposed to be public, but that's a tragedy. And Patricia, in order to give you some sage advice, I will say that, well, it's not permanent. It's very likely temporary, and that to get through tough times like that takes a little resourcefulness and putting your feet on the ground and just going to every place that you can and inquiring. Takes a lot of hard work. Steph Sarch says, ha 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 ha, Autumn. I don't get it. I don't see her comment. I don't see. Oh, that's right. It's white. It blends into the background. So everyone's going opposite now. They're changing their names to like light gray. I won't think anyone's chatting if that happens. Dr. Cuddly says, what do you do for a living? Depends on how you on what kind of aspect of my living you're inquiring about. During the day, I am a mild-mannered technical marketing manager for a startup in downtown Seattle. But at night, when the sun sets and the moon comes out, I transform into Oxhorn, the fine fellow you see before yourself today. I make a combination. I make money doing a combination of things: selling my novel, doing affiliate marketing on all of my websites, creating movies, publishing them to YouTube, and getting ad revenue, and then also going into my day job every day and actually making a lot more money. So that's what I do for a living. I'm a marketer. Oh, great. Sync to the Beat 11 says, the year is 2142. The android replica of myself seems to be malfunctioning. It has shown up at my place of work, convinced the people that it is the real me. I can't seem to convince them that I am the real person. I have sunken so low that I am in the android district. This cannot go on. The people must rise up against the replicates. I must form the resistance. Why is it that whenever we project into the future, it's always like a post-apocalyptic world? Right? Like you've got Blade Runner. I think, was Blade Runner set in 2013? I think it might have been. It was 20-something teen. I think it was set in 2013. But it's supposed to be like this post-apocalyptic electronic technical wasteland. Sync to the Beat says, because that's the rules. The rules are project into the future and it's a post-apocalyptic wasteland. I suppose so. It only makes sense. We can only go down from here, right? I think Star Trek is really the only one that didn't do that. Star Trek is set in a future where, you know, technology has liberated mankind from mankind. Alright, people are going back to the good rainbow assortment of colors for the scotchandsmokerings.com chat. That's great. 2019, Schwarmer corrects me. Blade Runner was set in 2019. I know it was a teen something. Area 1877 says, trim your mustache. I'm sorry, sir, but I do not harm national treasures. Would you go into the Smithsonian and set the tapestries on fire? No. For the same reasons I do not trim my mustache. Thank you. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, one more segment before we move on to the reading rap lyrics while wearing a confused expression. Now, I got a request from a fan, I forget who, I'm sorry, who wanted me to read some advice. So normally I read Don'ts for Husbands and Don'ts for Wives because I am now married, right? I used to read How to Be a Gentleman back when I was single, and now that I'm married and have a beard, I am, logically, a gentleman. So I don't need to read that book anymore. We have moved on to Don'ts for Husbands and Don'ts for Wives, but some people have been asking me, Oxhorn, please, I would like to hear some daily advice for people who are not married. So, for those of you who agree with that sentiment, let me know on the Facebook group, the Scotch and Smoke Rings Facebook group, and I'll try and add some other sources into our repertoire. We're almost done with these books. Look where the bookmarks are. They're towards the end. We've been going through these for quite some time, and we're almost done. We finished How to Be Classy, or How to Be a Gentleman, and then How to Be a Gentle Lady, and we're almost done with Don'ts for Husbands and Don'ts for Wives. We need to figure out what to go to next, so your suggestions are welcome. Alright, don'ts for husbands. Oh. Wow, we're going to finish this one today. Originally published in 1913. Oh, that's cool. Here's some good advice. Don't let your children fear you. Love, not fear, is the key to their characters. True, but I do think that there needs to be a healthy amount of fear in there. Don't be a wet blanket, gentlemen. In many households, all the light-hearted laughter and chatter ceases automatically as soon as father's step is heard. It might have been turned off at the tap, so sudden is the silence. This is all wrong. Your children should feel that you delight in their pleasure. Indeed, that's a good one. Don't stick too closely to the old adage that children should be seen and not heard. Of course, you must guard against their making nuisances of themselves, especially before visitors, but they must learn not to come into the limelight too much, but you don't want to stifle their self-expression. Encourage them to speak freely of their ideas. And that brings Don'ts for Husbands to an end. I can retire the cigar wrapper I was using as a bookmark for over a year. We finished that book, reading a small segment every week. How far are we into Don'ts for Wives? We've got about 2 or 3 more pages, so. Alright. Let us find. What? El Toro Guaco says, Can I see your book again? Why, of course. It's called The Tale of Chlor. Oh, Alright, this is advice for wives. Don't let your husband become merely your children's father after the arrival of the first baby. You can give him an extra share of love in that capacity, but he won't want to be any less your husband and chum. Don't cease to call him by his Christian name, and begin to address him always in the children's presence, and out of it as father or daddy. Don't cease to call him by his Christian name. So I guess they're saying don't forget to use his first name and not just father or daddy. Alright. Did we just have a hiccup in the connection? No? We're okay? Okay. Don't go into either extreme with regard to the amount of the children's society that you give their father. Let enough, but not too much, be your motto. Alright? Actually, we're almost done with this one as well. A few more. Don't think your baby is don't think your baby is as interesting to everyone else as he is to you. Alright, this is going to be quotable for anyone on Facebook who has friends who have babies. Don't think your baby is as interesting to everyone else as he is to you. It is quite natural for you to think that never was such a beautiful or wonderful baby before. But other people are apt to smile at each other or become horribly bored if you can talk of nothing else. That's a good one. Don't say your husband, quote, looks silly with a baby in his arms. Let him realize that the youngster is partly his, and that there is nothing derogatory to his dignity in handling him. Don't give baby the same name as his father, and then have to talk of Big John and Little John, or of Old John and Young John. Call your husband always by his own name, and let your boys have names of their own too. Alright, so naming conventions by the fine authors of 1913. One more before we finish this book, and by consequence, this series. Don't grudge the years you spend on childbearing and child-rearing. Remember, you are training future citizens, and it is the most important mission in the world. A truer segment, or a truer thought has never been issued in such a segment. Well, that concludes that. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Bottoms up. Bjarmid says, I've never understood people who name their children after themselves. Me neither, says El Toro Guaco. Laziness, says Baldox. I've never understood it either. It's not my personal forte, but no hatred to those who do it. My grandfather used to do it. His father's father had a name, which he gave to his son, which was my grandfather's name. And then my grandfather's firstborn son carried on his name. And so then when I was born, I was the first male in all of my family. He wanted my dad to name me after him, which my dad refused to do. And he named me something quite different, Brandon. And so that's where the tradition ended. Now all of the males, the firstborn males in my family, have their own name, which is why we called my son Gavin, and not something else. Scotty says, hello, Oxhorn. Just got home from work. Glad I get to see the show live for once. What are you smoking tonight? Scotty, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. We are smoking a Quorum, handmade in Nicaragua. It's an El Cheapo. I think I paid 99 cents for it. But for a 99-cent cigar, it's of the appropriate length, Churchill, and it's all right. It's been taken care of. F and Max says, the year was 2013. I'm sitting at my computer and watching Scotch and smoke rings with a classic glass of the finest Scotch and a local cigar. Today's youth's music is ringing in my ears, and I am thinking of closing myself into my house and only live on Oxhorn and Scotch. I think we call that the Oxhorn diet. This is the Oxhorn diet. Cue up Scotch and smoke rings on all of the replays. Watch it 24/7 and drink Scotch. Promise, you'll lose weight. Yeah. Good one. Good job there. Shawarma says dead in a week. You underestimate the powers of Oxhorn, good sir. Marceliaus says, this is my first time watching this live. Pleasure to have you here, Marceliaus. I hope you come next week as well. Alright, it's time for smoke rings. But to do so, I must turn off my fans. Not you, of course. I can't turn off you, fans. That would be silly. I'm talking about my fans. Remember that episode of Futurama where Leela says, what does this mean for we and our many fans? That was a facepalm moment for me. That's what I get for not using mustache wax. I gotta hold the thing back. Your mustache is fairly epic if you have to hold it back. Here we go. Got a few for you. All right. Reading rap lyrics while wearing a confused expression. What did you guys vote on? This is a surprise for me every week. I have no idea what I'm going to end up performing for you all. So I'm looking forward to this. What did you guys choose to do? For those who are new, every week we perform rap lyrics while wearing a confused expression based upon the votes. Where did I put it? Based upon the votes of the fans on my Scotch and Smoke Rings Facebook group. Ghoulbreath, you're fast. I'm looking at Ghoulbreath's fan art. Do you want me to show it now, Ghoulbreath, or save it for next week? Sarah Elizabeth Olsen says, how do I watch the show on my phone? I wish I could tell you, but you're not watching this show, so then... Someone want to tell her? She just has to download the Twitch TV app. It's free, and you can watch it for free on your phone. Okay, guys. Remember at the beginning of the show when I said, if you're going to choose a rap for me to read while wearing a confused expression, it has to be like a non-humorous one, because it doesn't make sense to make fun of something that's already making fun of something? Right, so the #1 result is MC Raiders by Mindflame. Now, I love the Mindflame guys. They're great guys. Clint, he came to my wedding. He's a good guy. And his song is amazing. The MC Raiders song, it's hilarious. We ain't got no life. But I can't perform it because it's already funny. Alright, so I'm going to have to go with #2. What's the #2? We Are by Hollywood Undead. I don't... Alright, well, let's check it out. I'm not familiar with it. We Are Hollywood Undead. William Moore says, I'm on the app right now. Excellent. So we've got some people watching from the app. Good show. Hollywood Undead, we are explicit. Alright, well, I think this is probably considered to be serious, which means we can actually make fun of it, and it's going to be funny. Alright. It's long. It's a long one. I may only be able to get through half of it, but we will do what we can. Alright, time to prepare. We Are by Hollywood Undead. We are made from broken parts. It's poetic. We are broken from the start, and our hearts, they were beating in the dark. Because we are built from broken parts. I feel like I need some bongos. If you can lose it all, then welcome to Broadway. Silicone dreams and your name on the marquee. And I can hold it up, but I hold it up hardly. It's hotter here in hell, but it's getting real dark, see? So all you sick in the bitterness of the lonely, to all you overdosed, and you miles of Bloit fiends, and every step, another step, you're walking on my dreams. Every breath, another breath. You're breathing when I breathe. Look, we all breathe when each other breathe. That's not a crime. I watch them all come. Gotta watch the rest go. I'm married to the devil in the city of angels. Ooh, that's poetic. So come all you wicked to the world of the empty. I know I need it all, so baby, don't tempt me. I'm knocking on your door. Nope, nobody sent me. Just checking all you Walshers like I'm checking this check sheet. I'm not sure what that reference is. A check sheet. So put your hats on, classy. Don't get soft. If you can see God... Wow, you can see God when I take my mask off? Really, he thinks he's God? Okay, someone's got a little bit of narcissism. Oh, his name is J-Dog. Oh, I'm sorry. If your name is J-Dog, well, you must be God, right? J-Dog backwards is God J. The fame's your best friend. You love it. No questions. Beating down the door is the face of rejection. And once again, it's a tragedy anthem. We never wanted more, we never needed your blessing. But who could give a grat about the kid with a dream? 'Cause stories aren't told about the ones unseen. With the gleam in his eye, his middle finger to the sky. I guess he doesn't like rain, maybe? Crooked smile on his face, he doesn't think he can die. So grab a pick and an axe, 'cause we try, we cry. Is he gonna go mine for gold or something? Into the bottle of Jack we die inside. Getting depressed just reading this. Alright, so when you look in his eyes, watch and see now, murder the monster you've made and watch him bleed out. If I didn't know any better, this was like some sort of emo goth song. I'm sorry, I did as well as I could. But this is just a bit too much for your neighborhood-friendly Oxhorn. Let's get some classy music back on. There's a distinct lack of class going on right now. Raise the class factor a little bit, and we will get rid of the J-Dog with his God complex. Alright, let me get my chat back up so I can see what fine things you guys are saying. I'm a cute little hardcore curtain says, again, that's the second time that he's given up on a Hollywood Undead song. Is it really? Or they just must really be that bad. Kane says, we are the youth of a nation. You know, that song was going through my head. Oh, that's because of We Are, right? We are, we are, we are. Youth of a nation. I bet we were all thinking that as I was going through the lyrics. What do you know? Schwarmer agrees with me. He says this one is terrible. I tried to redeem it. I was doing my best. It's really hard with that bad of a song. Oh, Steph Sarch says, oh, now I got reminded of We Are the World of Warcraft. I can take credit for that. I was actually in that one, so you're welcome. You know when you blow out smoke and then breathe in so that you can speak both at the same time? I never do that. I was going to read Tefunksta says, I like your 1930s Queen of Hearts wall ornament. Thank you. Thank you. I enjoy that. It's actually a clock, but it doesn't work. Used to work. Doesn't work. Wait, what do you guys... Baldock's Songify. Or Baldock says, whatever happened to speaking into your phone and the words became music? Thanks, H-Star. Been a long while since Oxhorn did that. Songify. Alright. We got time. I did not just say that we got time. I said we dost have time. Time doth be of the essence. Time be... what we have. All right. So Songify. What should I do in Songify? For those of you who don't know, it's been a long time since I've done this segment. Songify is, of course, an app that it turns what you speak into auto-tune. So why don't I do it based on your chat suggestions? I'll read the things you type in chat for the next 30 seconds into Songify, and then we will produce a song together. How about that? FN Max says brown bag. If you live in Seattle, brown bag and another phrase. Brown bag and citizen are now banned terms. All right, here we go. Is it free? Says Kni. It is free. Songify on the App Store. Oxhorn's brand medley, hippie elf. Garrosh owning pandas with his bare fists. LOL Omega, what the good Dairy Queen BBQ. I'm in the trenches smoking a cigar. Hey, I lived in the 60s and 70s. Psychedelic is my nature, says Shawarma. Tap tap classy, Jack classy classy, Jack Jack, says Jonath. And Panda Panda Panda, says Baldox. Nice idea, says Kani. Autumn of Kargath, says Turkey Turkey. Turkey for everyone. My name is J-Dog. I'm obviously got J, says Ghoulbreath. Long John, Short John, Long John, Short John, says Steph Sarch, and I think we're done. Alright, let's see how this turned out.
Oxhorn's brand medley, hippie elf, Garrosh owning pandas with his bare fists. LOL, what a good Dairy Queen BBQ. I'm in the trenches, smoking a cigar. Hey, I live in the 60s and 70s. Psychedelic is my nature, says Shawarma. Tap tap classy, Jack classy classy, Jack Jack, says Jonath. Panda 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 Panda, says Bulldogs. Nice idea, says Kani. Autumn of Kargath, says Turkey Turkey. Turkey for everyone. My name is J-Dog. I'm obviously got J. Says Ghoulbreath. Long John, Short John, Long John, Short John, says Steph Sarch. Bare fists. LOL, what a good Dairy Queen BBQ. I'm in the trenches, smoking a cigar. Hey, I lived in the 60s.
Shawarma says Thomas Edison would be proud. Indeed. Alright, I gotta save that one. Saving. One more, huh? We haven't done this in a while. Let's make up for lost time. Let's do one more. I'm going to read off what you guys say in chat, and we're going to make a song together. This is going to be the next platinum-selling record. I should collect all of these and publish them as an album. Scotch and Smoke Rings. Auto-tune songs by Oxhorn and the Fans. Oh, that's hilarious. All right. One more time. What else you guys want to do? Here we go. Recording in 3, 2...
Psychedelic is my nature.
Hey. Here we go. Oxhorn for Wart Chief. That wasn't even supposed to be in there. Jag talar lite svenska, men min svenska inte bra. Haha. This is awesome. Oxhorn the album. Omega hello, says Johnny09. We three dwarves of Ironforge. I'm uber late, so uber late. Take me to the land of Barbie and Ken, you handsome bull of a man. Epic beard is epic. Yobo red snapper. Omega what a good Dairy Queen Leet Hex BBQ Rafflemow. Shout out to Loranicus. He needs to come back. Do you guys have something against psychedelic stuff anyway? I sat on the rat inside my hat. Now it's fat and I'm fat, drinking blood like a bat. La la lat. Poop. If it's bad, it's your fault. I'm just saying.
Oxhorn for war chief. I wasn't even supposed to be in there. Jag talar lite svenska, men min svenska är inte bra. Haha. This is awesome. Oxhorn down. Says Johnny09. We three dwarves of Iron Forge. I'm uber elite. So uber elite. Take me to the land of Barbie and Ken. You handsome bull of a man. Epic beard is epic. YOLO. Red Sapa. All we know what I can do. The hacks BBQ waffle mom. Shout out to Renicus. He needs to come back. You girls have something against psychedelic stuff anyway. I saw all the red inside my head. I was fat and I'm fat, drinking blood like a rat. No, rat.
All right, still good. Not quite as good as the last one, but good job, everybody. Good job. Your performance was adequate. Zerpy says, Oxhorn, I just wanted to say that I loved your machinimas growing up. Thank you for making them. Thank you for being an awesome fan, Zerpy, and I'm so glad that you are here. Lepidus of Rune Totem says, I have nothing to say for once. I kid, Lepidus, and I'm glad you're here as well. Gurkha Games says, what do you smoke? I like the Gurkha, Double Maduros, and Beasts, and San Latino box presses. My friend, Gurkha is a fine cigar. I love box pressed cigars. I know that it's not a name brand, but one of my favorite cigars was called the Nica Libre box pressed cigars. I know that you can get them on, I think you can get them on Thompson Cigars and then cigars.com. But those were always very tasty cigars. Everyone who's a regular of the show knows that I love Egg Maduros by Gray Estate. Those are fantastic cigars. But today I'm actually smoking a Quorum, which is a cheapo cigar. William Marr says that song just went platinum. So for those who didn't see all of the things that I put into the song, I was reading both chats. I put some from the scotchandsmokerings.com chat, and then I put some from the Twitch TV chat so that I mixed them in together. That's what made up the song. Shawarma says, no more Phillies? Alas, it's empty. And obviously I don't throw anything away. My office is a trash bin. Shawarma, thank you for sending me these. I enjoyed them, actually. They're not my... I wouldn't sit down in a nice leather chair and drink a glass of really expensive scotch and pontificate with my good friend with a Phillies blunt. But if I'm sitting at my computer working, these are perfect. And they were great. So thank you very much. Smoke Ship says, Ghoul Breath indeed. Shawarma says, I mean, you don't want me to send more? I know that, Shawarma. They're the working man cigar, just as you said. Hey, I don't turn down free cigars. If you want to send me free cigars, I'm not going to say no. That goes for everybody here, by the way. I don't turn down free cigars. Just saying. All right, Smoke Ship time. For those who don't know, at the end of the program every single week, we blow a smoke ship into existence, again, based upon your suggestions. We try to have some fan interaction here. So here we go. Let's see. We've got... Steph Sarch says, Part 1, Oxhorn, Staghorn, Mortus, and Chloron Hastings on a giant zeppelin helping to overthrow Garrosh Hellscream. Oxhorn for War Chief. Part 2, while in the living quarters, Gavin and the dead Calbies, ... have a play date, while Nova and Lacey eat panda pizzas. Excellent. Excellent. William Moore says, Oxhorn and a giant Scotch-fueled robot are fighting an evil hippie tofu monster with a bacon bazooka that fires cigar missiles and smoke rings of death. Whoa! I think sparks of inspiration. A giant Scotch robot. Oh, a robot fueled on Scotch. Kind of like Bender, right? El Toro Guaco says, a pink ship riding on a yellow sea with a cyan sun, lighting up a green sky when orange clouds arrive and start raining purple bacon strips that turn into living pigs on a ship. Shawarma, were you talking earlier about psychedelic something? So you're basically wanting me to paint color in smoke. Just making sure. Color in gray smoke. All right. All right. No. All right, I don't want to miss. Okay, Mr. 8 Ball says Part 1, Ox, Jason, and the 12th... Oh, it flew off the screen. All right. Ox, Jason, and the 12th Doctor in a smoke TARDIS, flying through time and space, and rescuing Mr. 8 Ball from 1913 crooked Lich Kings. Nova, Autumn, Kitten, and Rose free Mickey from hippie cyber Daleks. Part 2, Gavin destroys weeping hipster angels. Coolbreath and Baldox read Cloran Hastings to Time Lords, while Draenei Brian chants yes, yes, yes to Oxhorn for President and War Chief. A lot of Doctor Whosian lore in there today. Nothing wrong with that, my good sir. Oh, there's another segment to William Moore's. His continues with Oxhorn, Beanstalk, Nova, and Baby Gavin on a bacon frigate in an ocean of Scotch, shooting flaming cigar missiles at evil hippie pirates who are bent on replacing all bacon and turkey legs with tofu and hummus. Ho ho ho! Now, if that's not a just cause for war, I don't know one. Autumn says, Oxhorn, on a giant warship, cruising through the ocean while eating scotch, while Nova teaches Gavin how to shoot frozen turkeys at the Alliance ships. True, because a frozen turkey would probably sink a ship better than a flabby, raw one, right? What? I don't understand what you mean, cute hardcore kitten. Ghoulbreath says Oxhorn sails a bacon-covered steamship running on Scotch steam with an elf and gnome bone steering wheel through a time portal to smoke cigars with the classiest gents in all of history, saying, Yobo. Oh, it was what 8 Ball added to the ship? Gotcha, gotcha. Makes sense. Shawarma says, a psychedelic pink pachyderm parading pantless upon pandas while drinking upon pork products, preferably bacon. Pachyderm. That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, that reminds me, there were a bunch of tongue twisters I was going to do for the show. But I forgot where they were. Alright, it's 8. I know what a pachyderm is because of Horton Here's a Who. I didn't read many. It's hard for me to read them all. Alright, Ninja of WoW says, I don't want to... Alright, here we go. Oxhorn battling badly beaten hippie elves. Mortus, Mr. Evil, and Ghoulbreath eating baby pandas and bacon pizzas, while Staghorn is eating his giant pecan pie, while Nova Hat and Autumn are playing Rock Band, while Gavin is playing with a nice Silverleaf. Thunk breaks down the door and gives turkey to all of Oxhorn's fans, while Ninja of WoW, Rolleron, and Baldox are killing Garrosh. Hell scream. Ghoulbreath says, I eat pandas? I like this idea. Indeed. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and give this one to William Moore today because I really enjoyed his contributions to the show, as I enjoyed everybody's contributions to the show. But he had a giant robot, fueled by Scotch. I realized there was alliteration, and I do love alliteration. And you fit in the word pachyderm. That's great. All right, here we go. So pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to have a smoke ship. If you blink, you're going to miss it. Let's turn off the fan so it doesn't ruin the form and wonder of my smoke ship. Shawarma says, which reminds me, if you have not, go see Pacific Rim. I did. My wife and I have not been to the movies in probably over a year until 2 weeks ago when we finally found a babysitter and went to see Pacific Rim. And it was pretty good, I gotta say. I mean, giant robots battling monsters in the ocean. It's hard to not like something like that, right? It's hard to mess that up. It just is. All right, here we go. Whoa! I hope you didn't blink, because if you did, you missed it. But for the briefest of moments before your very eyes was painted in smoke nothing less than Oxhorn in a giant Scotch-fueled robot fighting an evil hippie tofu monster made of tofu with a bacon bazooka that fires cigar missiles and smoke rings of death. Touched by an amazing smoke ring and you dissolve into nothing but blubber and blood. That is an epic smoke ship. Thank you for that one, William Moore, and thank you everybody for all of your wonderful ideas. Well, that brings an end to this week's episode of Scotch and Smoke Rings, episode 212. I thought it turned out great. Thank you everybody for coming. Thank you for the beard oil, beard brand. Thank you for the beard cleanser, Abraham's Beard Company. Thank you for the cigars and the scotch, David Cross. Thanks everybody for contributing to this fine show. If you would like to contribute, click the PayPal button at the very bottom of the screen. Give me a donation. I will buy cigars and scotch with it and give you credit during the show. I, of course, accept cigars and other things on my P.O. Box. You can find that information at scotchandsmokerings.com. Tune in next week, ladies and gentlemen. Same Ox time, same Ox channel. And be sure, my friends, to stay classy.